We've got two big cruise news stories to talk about today. First, a Norwegian cruise line passenger is blown into the water off of the ship because of really strong winds. This story is scary and wild. And secondly, we're going to talk about the brand new Star of the Seas, the upcoming Norwegian cruise line ship that will be the world's largest. Well, there are people none too happy, the passengers who booked the inaugural sailing, because of some changes that Royal Caribbean has implemented. And we've gotten the name of the godmother of that ship. All this and more, let's swan dive right into it. Hello everyone, it's Cynthia, your host. Welcome back to today's show. Well, today we have two cruise news stories that we're going to dive into. Our first story takes us over to Catania, Sicily. This happened on May 30th when the Norwegian Epic was docked, getting ready to let passengers disembark. As we all know, when it's time to disembark, when you're getting ready to get off on one of your excursion days, the ship is moored there to that dock. And this is what was happening there in Catania. Well, this passenger was getting ready to get off the ship, and this strong gust of wind, and it said it was measured at 45 miles per hour, it knocked into the ship. Now, the passenger was knocked into the water off of the ship, but because of the teamwork and the fast thinking of the crew, they were able to quickly grab the passenger back onto the ship. And after they were checked with the medical team, it was noted that, thank goodness, that there were only minor injuries. This could have been a terrible tragedy. So I was really glad to hear that the crew was able to respond quickly with their training and get the person back onto the ship and only minor injuries. This was all part of a 10-day cruise, which started in Rome, Italy, and it's headed over to places such as Greece, Malta, and France. This story is wild, and it just goes to show you that, you're on your cruise vacation and you're probably not thinking about, a strong gust of wind could knock the ship away from the pier, but we just have to remain situationally aware. And we also need to listen to that crew. They are very well trained and they are ready to spring into action when things like this happen. We are so glad to know that this passenger only sustained minor injuries. I'd love to know if any of you have ever been caught in a situation like this, strong gust of wind, some kind of accident with the ship, or have you ever sailed on the Norwegian Epic? I'd love to hear it. Drop it down in the comments below. We're moving on to our second cruise news story. But before we get there, I'm inviting you to subscribe to the channel. We'd love you to be part of the Right Recipe for Travel family. All you need to do is subscribe. Costs you absolutely nothing. And if you like the videos, please do like the video and tap down on that notification bell. Anytime that we produce a new video, you will be notified right away. Thank you so much to all of our new subscribers, and of course to our fans who have been with us for a while. We appreciate you so much. On to story number 2. We're headed over to Royal Caribbean to talk about the brand new Star of the Seas. Let me set the story. As you all know, Royal Caribbean, they're famous for launching the world's largest cruise ships, such as their Icon of the Seas. But of course, they don't stop there. Royal Caribbean started making the Star of the Seas. This will be the world's largest cruise ship when it launches later this year. Now, let me catch you up on the Star of the Seas. The ship was currently being built, and originally the launch date was set for August of 2025. Bookings for this ship began back in December of 2023. Now, as the ship was being built, there were some delays in the August 17th inaugural sailing. Well, that was pushed back to August 31st. But fast forward, and the ship was actually finished on time and delivered, so the sailings could take place before August 31st. Because of that time frame, it left Royal Caribbean with this quandary of having 2 weeks of their brand new ship just sitting, not making any money. Well, we know that wasn't going to happen. So Royal Caribbean decided to do what they called showcase sailings. Royal Caribbean called this a pre-launch offer. meaning pre-launching before the inaugural sailings that people had already booked. These sailings were 4-night Star Showcase cruises to Perfect Day at Coco Cay, and that was set to take place on August 16th of 2025. Royal Caribbean said, "It's because we simply can't wait to debut this beautiful brand new ship." I looked it up to see some of the pricing for this 4-day pre-launch cruise. This cruise will be leaving from Port Canaveral, Florida, heading over to Royal Caribbean's private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay, or Coco Cay in the Bahamas. We have prices starting at $1,142 per person for an inside cabin for this 4-day pre-launch cruise. It's also said that they're going to have a 3-night pre-launch cruise somewhere in between that time frame, as well as a 7-night cruise. Now, passengers who had already booked that initial August 31st cruise, well, they took to social media to say how they were very frustrated about this. They didn't even get an email or a note saying, "Hey, would you like to switch your cruise?" Nothing, just radio silence, and heard about it, on the radio or on the news just like anyone else. So they were none too happy about that. I'd love to know your thoughts. Have you ever booked an inaugural sailing of a cruise ship and then there was a switcheroo? We know inaugural sailings, they can be a little bumpy. Sometimes the ships just are not ready when they were initially scheduled to be ready. It's happened to us. But I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Would you be upset, or would you be excited to be a person who could maybe jump on one of these new pre-launch sailings? Kind of interesting. Please let us know about that in the comments below. But before I end this story, Royal Caribbean announced just today, and today is Thursday, June 5th, they have the Godmother for this beautiful brand new ship. Aptly named like Star of the Seas, the Godmother is Diana Ross. Diana Ross is aptly named the Queen of Motown. We all know that she got catapulted into stardom back in the 1960s when she was with her group, the Supremes. Royal Caribbean states that Diana Ross will preside over a traditional naming ceremony there in the Aqua Theater. Diana Ross noted, "Having spent years of creating beautiful music and memories and bringing people together from all over the world, this feels like a perfect continuation of my journey as Godmother of the Star of the Seas." Royal Caribbean states they are thrilled to have her. Exciting news. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. That's it for the cruise news for today. I thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you at the next adventure.